give me 50 bucks and I will give you a trading account with a buying power of $50,000. Well, sounds too good to be true? Well, it is. In this video, I will discuss the psychological trap that they are using that could eventually turn you into a gambler. Until recently, trading meant opening and funding a real account with a trading firm. Then all these new companies started coming out that they give you funding after you pass a test in a simulated environment. The first ones focused on CFD, mostly for Forex and some major indices, and then others followed, concentrating on the US futures markets. All of them are selling the dream. Put something like 50 bucks to get an account with 50,000 of buying power, putting you on the line to prove your skills before they open a real account for you to manage, but not to own it. And that is also subject to their rules. This all sounds nice, especially to people that they do not have the capital to fund a real account. But here's the twist. With most of these firms, you have to pay a monthly fee. Also, if you break the rules, your account is disabled unless you pay some fee for resetting it or just buy a new one. They also give you the opportunity to buy multiple accounts, link them together, and multiply your profit by copying your trades to each and every one of them. All of that sounds really nice, unless you see the underlying psychological aspects that no one talks about. Now, imagine the following scenario. You buy an account from such a company and you start trading, thinking that you have an account with $50,000. But then you find out that your maximum loss is actually $2,500. So you say, okay, if we take a rule like risking only 1%, that's $500. So if you risk 1% on every trade, you will lose your account after you fail 5 times in a row. Then you start downscaling, trying to only lose something like $100 per trade, which is very tough, especially in the US future markets. And now you already start feeling the pressure building up. You start calculating again. If you have to be conservative and not blow your account, you need to take only specific trades and keep your risk really low, like let's say $50 per trade. You now have your plan, you start trading it, but in order to pass the test, you now calculate that you will need around 2 to 3 months. It can't be. You read the rules, you calculate some more, and now you realize that if you continue like this, you will need another 2 to 3 months to get your first payout, and you will still have to trade every single day. Your mind now starts going crazy. How can I do it faster? 6 months is too long. How can I do it in 1 month? So then I will just need another 1 month to get my first payout. You start taking more risk because this feels like the only way. And the next thing you know, you just reached your maximum loss limit. The next thing that pops into your mind is if you buy this reset or if you buy a new account. This right here just turned you into a gambler. And if you continue this path with this mindset, even if you make money, your psychology is shifted from the calculating, calm, risk-averse, successful trader to a trader with gambling tendencies. You want to get this payout. And now you also want to multiply your profits by copy trading to 20, 50 accounts. But even if you get paid, this trading cannot be replicated into the real markets, especially into the US futures. You can fall very easy into this loop if you are a beginner trader or in urgent need of money or undercapitalized. And does all that sound familiar to you? Because they do to me. I would urge you to watch my previous video regarding the connection between trading and gambling. I will put the link in the description and you can see the link on top of the screen now. So, if you now, for example, start doing calculations like in a spreadsheet, you will eventually find out that this is something that will bring more trouble to your mind than it will free it to do trading. And speaking for myself, I know that even if I pass such a test and get funded, there are also further tax implications that need to be carefully thought on. For my personal case, as you may know, all these firms, they do not employ you, but rather they list you as an individual contractor. What it means is that you have to do your own taxation. For me, in my country, that alone can go up to even 50%. So imagine trading with their account, following their own strict rules, then taking a percentage percentage from your profits, because of course you split with them, and then having to do also additional taxation that will eventually take even more, depending on your country, of course. In my personal case, if I make a profit of, let's say, $1,000, I will end up with something like $600, $500. And as this is not trading, I will have to become a freelancer to be able to declare it in the tax office, adding even more costs because I will have to pay for health insurance, for accountant every month, and so on. So how stressed are you going to be thinking it that way? My personal opinion is that all of that benefit their firm and not you and me. And some, of course, they will also claim that you need to be a very skillful trader to do that. But the counter argument is actually super simple, because if you are such a trader with a proven track record, then you can go to a real big prop firm that can provide you with significant capital, and you can even negotiate the rules with them. And that's a completely different ball game. Where does all this lead? I personally failed a dozen of these accounts until I realized what they mean to me. I haven't passed even a single one of them. And what I use them for is to trigger my own psychology in a way that I can train myself in this aspect. For some reason, personally, if I use a demo account, I cannot replicate the feelings I get from trading a real one. But with accounts from these firms, I do get emotionally triggered. I used them in the past with great success to trigger and train myself to overcome my trading demons, and I still do. My humble recommendation to all of you: be very much aware of the emotional triggers if you are using such an account from such a firm. Also, to be completely transparent, there are some firms that they will have, let's say, a lighter impact on you and your trading. These are mostly the ones that they deal with CFDs, and that is because some of them, they do not have these monthly fees, the activation fees, and some, they even pay you back the initial fee if you pass the test. But still, the truth remains, if you have the same real money that you can invest in a real trading account with no rules from others, no restrictions from third parties, and no fees, it is the best choice for the long term, and specifically for building up a very solid trading mindset that would be based on reality and what happens in the real market, the real order book, and not a simulated one. And if this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more content regarding trading. Thank you for watching.